Hey y'all, real quick before excuse me, before I hop on, before y'all hop on, I hopped on. Excuse me. Just to give you guys a quick heads up, we go a little long on this episode. It's about 45 minutes. Okay. This one's just a culmination of everything else. I'm not gonna talk about the presidential thing anymore because, again, ladies and gentlemen, like, at this point, the next time something comes up or anything like that, then we'll discuss. But again, most people have already had certain things in their mind. You have to realize that things change over time. Governmental conglomerate groups, I guess if you want to call it party, because again, if you say in a party, they're having a party at your expense for sure. So at the end of the day, these are just some truths to come away with. These are things that kids should be raised on from the jump. Again, if you're having an allegiance, we've talked about patriotism and nationalism, and you look at those definitions of words, which you're going to get into why I did this intro here. So I want to clear up something on this episode. When you look at the words patriotism, nationalism, again, it deals with what you hold in dear about wherever you're at in the world. So the Syrian nationalist or patriot, right? The Nigerian, Zimbabwean nationalist or patriot, right? Someone from India or an Indian, right? So so on and so forth. Pakistani nationalist or patriot, no matter where you are, right? These lands, open lands made by God, by a great creator, for those who believe in evolution, the Big Bang Theory, right? These lands, okay, started by great light, okay? Understand, if that's the part that you hold dear, the people, humans that are here, then that's the part that you go with. But anything else, this idea of the government that's there and all that type of stuff, you can't take pride in this mess. You can't take pride in this mess. Do you see this mess? Do you see this? They're okay killing you. You had the move bombing back in the 80s, man. They were okay bombing a whole neighborhood and called them the terrorists. You know, that's another thing they talked about during that debate. Who the terrorist is? Now, never mind. Folks using terror to make sure you stay at work. They're using terror to make sure you do everything you do. This is real, y'all. This is real. Again, you don't believe me? Try doing something. They shove it in your face because you're not in a place. It's the same thing physically. If someone was to break out in these lands talking about how all the world hates us and stuff like that, could you even run a mile away from some horrible stuff going on? We all too big and fat to be able to do that, y'all. They fatten us up real good with all this fast food and stuff like that. Being for real. Eat 3 meals a day when the body can only you can only digest up to 36 hours of it. So how you... Never mind. Oh, but that's your, ain't that your FDA, right? And all that? Never mind. People not paying it. So when it comes to the word wicked, okay, wicked. The definition, while dealing with witches and all that kind of thing, is all well and good. The part that I had missed on speaking about was the correlation between which twist is twisting something, right, and wicked, which is a twisting of something. When you look biblically, it deals with a stick, when it twists, how it's wicked or twisted. Again, a wick, like an actual wick on your candle, is fabric that is twisted together. Again, the idea between the word wick, dealing with, now of course the wick dealing with Wiccan, but especially in a church environment, when you're dealing with wicked, this idea of things are twisted. Just to have that on the table. Okay, so that when you see this word, understand it's less spooky. Everybody makes a lot of things, they got to make it about witches and make it spooky. It's very simple. Okay, so I just wanted to reiterate on that. I hope y'all enjoy this episode, and we will talk to you soon. All right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, a good, blessed, powerful morning to y'all. Saturday morning, the 29th of June. Weird little placement for the 4th of July. It's again kind of like there was a different holiday this year that was like that, kind of in the middle. I think it was Juneteenth. Yeah, Juneteenth was right in the middle. So it makes the weekend thing a little, so like, which one do you celebrate? Do you celebrate before or after? A lot of people celebrate before, right? So y'all welcome in my 500, excuse me. There's been a lot of talk about my people and ownership today. So excuse me, right? Us, the 500 strong. Yes. Right. Us, the 500 strong who listen to this podcast here called A Different View. Right. Thank y'all for your support. Number one. Number two, shout out Spotify for podcasters. Again, you have to have a platform, guys. If business is a thing, and we need to start really getting our mindset in on collective business, communal type environments. I know what they're telling you. I know what they're telling you. The trick game all this time is to put down another man and another woman in order that another woman and another man might resurrect themselves on their dead body, y'all. That's what the game is. This is what humans have created this thing to do. Here is a verse of encouragement today as we go forward in our day, and it is in Isaiah 26. I mentioned it on this podcast before, talking about keeping the mind stayed on something, right? This good old book Isaiah, a lot of prophecy, right? For my prophets out there one time. No matter which belief you're in, right? Talking about the future of things and talking about things, right? And all that type of stuff. We got work to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue here in this whole presidential debate. I think this is going to be two parts. I'm not going real hard with this because, again, a lot of the, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, and I just posted this online, Shakespeare's quote. Y'all know what Shakespeare's quote is about. Some of the older people on here who know it, who have studied English and have studied literature, good old England, right? What was this is a question you just asked your phone. What was William Shakespeare's quote on All the World's a Stage? That's all you got to ask your phone, computer. You can talk to the things now, right? Talking about AI. Here's the quote. This is from London Theatre. .co.uk, right? So again, we're not making, again, the idea here is to constantly, there's a couple of things that reoccur, and you saw it a couple nights ago here with this, or last night, whichever, and it doesn't even matter really, right? Again, this was one of these things that they brought out. Donald Trump said it, and you know what, this man was spot on with it. See, again, we like to discredit everything the man says. Don't do that. Learn to divide, right? Didn't the Bible tell you can train your senses to divide between good and evil? Start learning how to look for the BS in people so that you can know the good and the evil, ladies and gentlemen. This is real, right? The true and the false, the half-truth and the whole truth. Right? Nothing but the truth. So help you God, right? Yeah, Lord help us, man. Nothing but the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Amen, right? So, see again, talking about a definition of a thing, where are my preachers, teachers, and philosophers at? Right? Because this is what this comes down to. The word consider, these different words that are here, y'all. People are not paying attention. Okay. Trump said this one thing. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it in my notes here. Excuse me 1 second, y'all, while I scour through my page and a half notes of this mess. He comes right out and says there's no need. Yeah, here it is. There's no need to debate. Talking about the different things with Joe Biden, of course. But again, people deal in half-truths. This is the point. See, you take twisted notions. We're talking wicked people, right? The word wicked deals with twisting. See, again, we put a spooky thing on it. No. The word wicked deals with twisting things. This is what you deal with when every time you see it in the Bible, y'all, the word is meaning folks twisting things. Transpose that definition every time you see it. Again, we're not making the thing up, y'all. See, this is, we'll get back into Shakespeare's thing here in a second. Here we go. Again, good old Oxford. Oxford's definition of twisted: forced out of its natural or proper shape, crumpled, Crushed to form creases and wrinkles. You can crumple up paper, right? You can get wrinkles in your clothes, creases in your clothes. Of course, in that case, if you're talking about a crease or a twisting or a crumpling, right? In that case, it's to make it look good. See, whenever we're talking about wicked in this standpoint, it's always dealing with where it's not good. But can you twist something toward the good, y'all? Oh, Lord, help somebody today. Hey, yes, right? Again, and twisted comes from the word twist, right? Let's see here. Let's see if they will. Now, of course, they talk about with the word wicked, which deals with everything evil and morally wrong. But when you go a little deeper, from where we get Wicca, right? The base word in Wiccan. And I know they're going to get on witches. We need to stop. Y'all, see, again, you're on the wrong witch hunt. Much like this debate, the wrong witch hunt. Okay? Bad, wicked, false. Okay? A sorcerer, a soothsayer, someone who's dealing in divination and necromancing and all that kind of thing. Again, it deals in a level of a twisting, a moving of something from one thing to the other. Okay, pulling from a different power, all that type of stuff. That this is where that comes from. Again, they constantly keep going back and back and back on this idea. Even African musicians, where again, Wiccan deals with this idea. Not Wiccan, wicked deals with the idea of doing something that again is against or a twisting of something, the opposite of something. So again, where they got witches using energies from one place and then others who don't from another. That's the twisting. That's what they're calling it as wicked. Again, when you see wicked, realize that thing like wicker furniture, it's been formulated to look differently. It's the twisting of wood, the bending and decreasing of wood in order to, right? So these are just some things here to consider when you are talking about the word wicked. It comes back from the 1200s. Now, of course, things in the 1200s go back a little bit, further. And like we said, now we're past, right, the 14 or 1500s. We're going further back. That's what you got to do, y'all, right? So, William Shakespeare's quote, number one, all the world's a stage, and the men, and they got to put the men first, right? Anyway, you need help, gentlemen, right? We need to stop hurting the people that are here, are supposed to be holding hands with you. What are you doing? Why are we doing that? You got to question why you do that. Anyway, all the men and women are merely players. They have their exits and entrances. And one person, again, they say man, but one person in their time plays many parts. This is the game, y'all. And what you watched on that debate is just another part of the play on the stage of life. Because what people are doing is playing around with real life. This verse from Isaiah 26, talking about things going on in the land of Judah. Shout out. Again, we're getting closer to the end of June, yet nothing changes. Things don't go away because the month changes and somebody ends recognition of a thing. That recognition continues. You don't stop, right? Somebody asked me a while ago as far as the colors of the necklace that I wear. The necklace I wear, y'all, is a combination, one of a protection stone, because again, I know y'all don't, many discredit that which God has put here, but that's okay, right? That's all right. Okay, to each their own. Yet, I wear black, yellow, red, and green. These are the colors. One, black, red, and green are recognized by those who are Pan-Africanists. Now, while I do consider myself on some level, while a Christian, I want to buck the mind today, ladies and gentlemen. While a Christian, yes, I'm going to support those not only of the whole planet, but of course, my own people, of which I share camaraderie with, right? The dark skin tone people of the planet. No matter where they are. That's what Pan-Africanism deals with. On its base sense. I know I know everybody goes into a whole lot with it. Because again, this idea is to dissect to the point of disbelief. We understand. However, the idea here is that we are one, spread across the land, aka the planet, and to stand in solidarity with people that struggle across this planet. Specifically, we're talking about our people, which both former President Donald Trump, I was remiss in saying that last time we were speaking, he's not president, he is former president, right? So former President Donald Trump and current President Joe Biden made a good mockery of black folks during that debate. Then again, because our people do not stand up for themselves, we would rather shoot each other in convenience stores, I know, and blame the white man for it. We would rather allow all the different ills of which were placed upon us to continue to keep us bound. That's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. And by ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about my sisters and brothers, black folks. We got to stop. I know you won't hear it from the white man. I understand that because the thing has been too stained by the blood of their own peoples and ancestors. We understand that. But yet they would repeat the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. Every culture in the world would do it. Would do it. It's time to stop. You don't need 67% of the families as single mothers. That's not on the white man. Come on. You don't need opportunity zones from this United States government either, as they had the time to talk about that last night. I don't care about that. Don't need your money. When we spend enough money on hair, clothes, and sneakers alone, look at the stats, y'all. They study us at this point. To enslave somebody, you would have had to study them anyway. But I digress, yet you don't do no study of them. Why not? They study you. This goes to every other culture, by the way. They study you. Why don't you study them? The man mentioned the Peace Corps, talking about this climate, because, folks don't care about this climate. We throw trash all over the place. Yeah, and y'all can accuse me and call me Poison Ivy to my comic book heads out there, right? You can call me whatever you want to. Tree hugger, it don't matter. Again, the world's a stage and the players are in it. It don't change. Right? This was the same garbage they were saying back in the 1200s to those who cared about the environment. See, again, speaking to Christians who play the pauper for Nero and whoever else is the head man on the government, right? Right. So Jesus didn't do that, by the way, but I digress. At the end of the day, yes, it must be set. See, I'm talking about those who believe in something. It's time to stand up, y'all. Shiva, Buddha, I don't care. The Great Spirit, it doesn't matter. It's time for us to stand up and speak. This is supposed to be down here for us to live in peace. And all you're seeing is the same warmongering that happened in England pouring over here. Everybody trying to have a debate, trying to sway you to screw you. Anyway. No, none of these things are true, ladies and gentlemen. They're twisted pieces of the truth. And you have been given charge by your Creator to train your senses to know the difference. This is not just for the Christian. I know what y'all gonna say. People have it in them to know the difference between good and evil. It's the culmination of what Adam failed in, what Eve failed in, and more so Adam than Eve. Because again, when the information is brought to you and you do nothing with it, it's on you. It's on you. This is the charge to us all, by the way. Before that defense in the mind hits of somebody accusing somebody, we make a level playing field. We read this verse here where Jesus talks about who we give the right wages to. Everybody getting the right thing. See, you don't have to worry about. Another thing they brought up during this debate is the idea of inflation. You kept hearing inflation, inflation, inflation. Listen, have you gone and looked at what the causes of inflation are? Each one of them, this is a simple question you can ask your phone. We're not going to do it for time, right? When you, again, just look up, just ask your phone, what are the causes of inflation? Matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up on purpose, but I'm not going to go through each one because, again, y'all have to, at some point, we got to pay attention to this. Demand and pull, cost and push, built in. Built in. You guys and gals, you gotta question the nature. I keep saying it. And again, all the information points back to it. Whenever you introduce humans into trading commodities, that is just a simple word for the back and forth we do with the import and export, the stuff made on something traded to a different nation and vice versa, right? And not only to other nations, but internally. The different goods we give. Whenever humans are involved in that, that mess goes way out the window. God has made this thing a certain way for it to be traded under fair value. We are not doing that anymore. You twisted the word fair value. Fair. We've gone over that on this podcast, that word fair. Because again, people want to keep talking about how life is not fair. Life is fair. People are not. See, again, the things that are happening happen all over the world. But because we play the division thing, you don't know what's going on in Australia. See, this man had enough time to, speaking of Donald Trump, had enough time to keep talking about immigration. You know why? Because it's the game that you keep playing with people to keep them divided. Y'all, when do we stop? No, KJ, you don't understand. The migrants going to take all the jobs. No, they are letting them in here, y'all. When do you catch that? No different than the Homestead Act back in the 1800s. The land rush back in the 1800s. Yeah, that which made the state of Oklahoma and all these other prairie states, right? You drowned out the other people here by... Never mind. But oh no, now we can put on our, oh please don't do this to us. No, please, sir. We gotta stop playing the division game between humans. Realize that we're on a team. Do what is necessary to provide for ourselves. They sat there and they talked about the climate and the Peace Corps correlation with the Climate Corps. Guys, back in the 50s when they made the peace, see, you got to make the thing look like you care so you can keep taking from them. It's the game they played when they came to these lands in the 1600s, when they scouted it out in the 1400s. Like my man Christopher Columbus actually found America. No, you found one part of the Americas is what you found. The islands over here next to North America and South America and Central America. That's what you found. But only in the study of history do you start finding that out and piecing together what they hide from us. This immigration thing is a farce, y'all. Somebody was taking somebody else's jobs back then. You know, the same thing they were talking about inside the debate, why the black folks don't have what they need. Because they flooded the lands here with the European folks to keep down the natives and the black folks. At least 3 groups you know were here when Europe came calling. You know those they call Indian, aka Native American, which I say native on this podcast. You know that there were dark skin tone people from the exploration books. I'm not talking about from something else you see. We're talking about Columbus went and took slaves from the islands. He didn't bring them from Africa there. Documented stuff, y'all. And you know there were Latin folks here. 3 people already here. When you talk about the Incans and the Mayans that go all the way from South America and come back up, they were here, y'all. chilling and having a good time. And the quote unquote Christian European came over here talking about how pagan and unholy they were. That's just a ruse, y'all, to take their stuff. See, if the Christian was for real, you wouldn't have sided in with that mess. Again, God is going to judge them, not you. So why would you link up with the government talking about bringing God's justice to this? Never mind. If my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and repent from their ways and seek God, never mind. But y'all are okay with Donald Trump putting in the Constitution and Bill of Rights in the Bible. But that's fitting because y'all are playing pauper for the government. So they're going to turn you into merchandise too. Yet it does not affect the rules set up by the Creator, because God has told us that you will not, God is not a man to be mocked. Whatever you sow, you will reap. This is not doom and gloom, ladies and gentlemen. This is an explanation of the game. People put the spooky thing in because they don't want to do the right thing. And then they go killing the holy prophets and the people who talk like this. It's what they do. Again, another thing in the game that has not changed all this time. Talking about abortion again is preservation for another group of people. You got to get that down in your psyche, y'all. Again, does it deal with all cultures? Yes, we're talking about the predominant one that took over these lands, which is the European. You can listen. You see intercultural marriage at the height that it's ever been. That it has ever been, I should say. Again, people cross-love each other. This idea of staying stuck inside the relationships, we've had a conversation on that already this past Valentine's Day. Go re-reference those episodes, right? You cannot, and again, dealing with a Christian preacher who assumes that you got to teach your kids that you stay inside your, now again, your choice. Hold on now. See, again, before people go sideways, playing into that defense in the mind, it is your choice whether you choose who you love and who you don't. Okay, right? Who you decide to get married to and have children with and all that, your choice. While we still here, shout out one time for Pride Month. Okay, we got to drop some things, y'all. You love who you love. However, the reason that you run into problems and all this kind of stuff is because the hardness of men's hearts is exactly what God talked about. Jesus, right? We believe Jesus is God's son. I interchange the two. I don't play around. I don't play that game here, right? KJ and me are the same person. Okay? That's the name of me. I don't. So when you say reference KJ, you talking me. We don't do this. No, this is separate. While you can say that way, and that's all well and good, separate person. We understand that, right? We talking the same person here. So, see, again, levels of DID is very real. Which is why if you just look at God as the Trinity, which is fine, and those are the only three parts of God, it's also said 3 in 1. People have a hard time contemplating that. Again, you got 100 sheets of paper in a ream that you buy out of the store, right? Multiple pieces of paper, one part. Now, we talked about this as far as people are concerned, the human race, whole lot of people, one humanity, right? You got to understand, you got to stand up. This is the point. It's time to stand up, y'all. This whole idea with abortion is dealing with preservation of a group of people that are going away because this quote unquote brown out is happening. Again, me personally, I think it's a resetting of things, but I digress. That's just me. Again, we have referenced this on this podcast before. It is the opinion of the content creator, right? So we're just leaving it there. We're presenting you with info. And this idea with veterans, it's a damn shame. This man, no different than black folks, no different than the rest of us. They cart you out to talk about how that they don't like Joe Biden. Deep down, when you talk about veterans, whether Republican or Democratic, this thing is defense of this nation, of these lands. And they are the meat in the sandwich of a greedy government that's okay putting them down life's toilet when they're done with them. Just pooping you right out. This is what this has come to, ladies and gentlemen. The same sexism you saw back then, they had a problem with women being involved on the battlefield. Why? They can't pick up the gun and the knife and shoot? And never mind. Never mind. Again, they're meant to be help. I see, it's hard. Anything you can do, I can do better, right? Why is it so hard to accept? I know why. Because you are sipping massive syrup. You sipping that syrup, ladies and gentlemen. And when you do, you think like and act like massa. When no one is important and everyone is in the collective for the plantation owner to make money and have resources and have fun and all that kind of thing, not you. It's a big old game of discrediting folks so they can rise and prosper and you fall and fail. That's the game. Adolf Hitler picked up on the play, which is why they tell you historically that the Holocaust, its model, was slavery. That formalized sick mess that Europeans, listen, I know y'all want to do this. Hey, well, come on, KJ, the Africans were selling each other, and like Arabs sell each other. And like you could even go in the Bible and look like Joseph's brothers sold Joseph. What? Here's the other side of the thought. Here's the different view. Yeah, that's all well and good. Because somebody is beating your wife, does that mean I come in and join in? Because somebody is raping your husband, does that mean I come in and then join in, ladies? We're not thinking, y'all. We're not thinking. We're not thinking. We've been given a sound mind, but we sure ain't using it. That's here's an overall note. Younger folks need to be in office. Yes, as we're on 28 minutes. Younger folks need to be in office, y'all. If you're tired of watching, listen, if you are tired of watching a 78 and 81-year-old man go back and forth and fall asleep at the thing and who's talking about billions and billions, if you are tired of all that mess, go look to put in younger folks. I don't care who it is. See this idea. Oh, what if they? See, once they get in government, they have signed on to Screw You magazine anyway. So why keep doing the same thing, screwing you? Pick someone else. Pick someone else. Yeah, voting is a power that's given to people. Pick someone else. Right. This was the problem back in 2016. Why not go for Hillary Clinton? Pick Hillary. Oh, no, the emails and this, that. Who cares about all that? National security been put down the toilet when they invaded these lands, y'all. We just playing like we trying to hop around which one is the less, the lesser of two evils. I heard talking to a buddy of mine yesterday. This is the idea in the mind here. Guys, we forgot the other side of the equation. Where is the greater of two goods at? Where is that at? I know we're missing it because we're not going after it. Go after the good, not the evil. But somewhere along the line, people keep repeating the same error that Adam and Eve did during the fall of man. Again, your salvation is in when you do different. As we end in closing, this idea about the economy and again, doubling down on this immigration thing. All this is division. See, when one profits, we all profit. What you need to do is hold your towns and municipalities accountable to make sure there is something there for you, which is what we don't do. We keep waiting on the president to do something. No, you are the American citizen of which the government is there serving for. You need to demand more of your government. The lawyers and financiers need to band behind people. You have problems at work and the jobs are going away and they're not giving you perks on the job. It is time for the employee to stand up. See, this is the part with Labor Day that we spoke on that people keep missing. It's employer and employee. The employer has stood up for themselves. Employee, when do you? I know y'all poo-poo worker representation on the jobs you're on. Ladies and gentlemen, it don't get better for you until you stand up for you. This is just the stark reality. And one or two people ain't gonna do it. Let's see. Yeah. So when they talk about Border Patrol and immigration, y'all just throw that out the window. Again, that's a smokescreen. Okay. The people coming here, the same people came over here doing the same thing. There is no difference. Again, hold your government accountable, not the people coming over. They got right just like you do. So that means you need to talk to your government, not them. It's the same thing folk go up in these stores talking to the workers in the stores about the problem in the store. No, you go to the boss. And then when that don't work, you go to the corporate offices. Y'all, hello? But I guess we like shopping in filth. I guess that's what it is. We like this clearly because we're still not doing what we need to do. And I said before people get on the how, KJ, you blaming everything. No. We all involved in this, man. We got, y'all. Never mind. Yeah, folks have been duped that the U.S. they thought it was has never been. And that's a big one, y'all. Again, talking about mental disorders and all these types of things. Ladies and gentlemen, we're suffering from this kind of thing. You think the game is what it is not. It's for your destruction and their preservation. That's the point. But then again, Jesus already gave us the play by telling us that the thief, and we're not talking about anything. See, again, it's the combination of verses. See, you wrestle not against flesh and blood. You're talking about what's in the mind of folks. And protect yourself. That's it. This is we got to go killing people. And January 6th, storming Capitol Hill and all that. What are you doing? Could you take a page from see, again, while you had to make the thing look like they were evil and they were violent. See, again, we're talking about setting precedents. Negro League Baseball, that folks still have a problem with now, set the precedent that they could be successful on their own. People came in droves. That's why I put up a couple of things on my Facebook page showing the big three. Guys, if you're tired of what goes on in the NBA and with the press talking about the NBA, which again, when you're speaking on media, it's folks driven by somebody else to keep you bound. But I digress. At the end of the day, if this is the case, ladies and gentlemen, separate. Start your own league. The same thing is happening already. They don't want you there. They want you there enough just to make them money so they can be placated. That's not the point. You listen to those of which you are making money off of. And you help them as best you can. On top of them helping themselves. You don't want to do that, then we go on. This is what business is about. There's another thing in this nation talking about all these different things between Russia and Israel and Palestine and all these immigration, all this kind. The definition of business is horribly discombobulated and disfigured in this nation. No different than like a person's face with horrible markings on it and stuff. Again, we took business from the way it was supposed to be, talking about inflation. We took it from what truly is fair market value, and we've turned it into a money grab. That's not what business is. One guy has a business, we protect that for them, and the next one, okay, Jay, well, that's what goes on. Oh, okay, then y'all explain to me why patents were stolen back in the day when this nation was forming. Oh, well, come on, KJ, you're going to have that. You're going to have that, man. You got to watch out for your stuff, blah, 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 blah. Okay. See, again, we like to make excuses going one way. This is why I said this from the beginning, starting this podcast. When do we make excuses going the other way? When do we do it? Because we're really great at doing it the one way. Do we have any balance to do it the other way, though? No, I know we don't. That's why we're in the problem we're in. And y'all can enjoy these immigrants coming here because the government going to use them to make sure you don't have nothing. Now, see, listen to how I said that, because I know where the mind goes. You go to the immigrants. It ain't the Syrian. It ain't the Middle Easterner. It ain't the African. It ain't the South American. It ain't none of that. It is who is using them. No different than the native being used by the government to execute black people. No different than Europe using the African descent into turning on their own people to bring them to these lands, along with everybody else was here. To be a workforce so they didn't have to do nothing on the land they stole. Again, you talk about original sin, y'all. This is all this is. This is all this debate mess is just reshuffling and explaining the same garbage. So when you bring up Charlottesville again, you're dealing with the idea of the sickness in humans and the ability of the government to exploit it at will because people are not defending other people. You would have never had that if those who are so-called white would defend those who are so-called black. You wouldn't. But they play on it because they know what y'all gonna do. They know what you signed up to in your mind. You show it out of your mouth and your actions. Live and let live, y'all. Live and let live. Let's see. Issues of giving money to war. Okay, yeah, because they kept going back and forth about that. Listen, y'all. War makes nations money. That's why you see so many of them. That's why that one in Afghanistan went on for 20 years. What? Never mind. Never mind. Talk about inflation. One of the things that causes it is the demand for things. Anyone notice how that COVID-19 thing caused the demand for things? Because it robbed away things. Do you see how weak this economy is? All it took was one virus to cripple this nation. Drove people insane. Well, not insane, because that's insanity is dealing with doing something, wanting different result, doing the same thing that will not give you the outcome you're looking for, thinking you're going to get the outcome you're looking for. That's insanity, right? It drove us to being crazy. Again, oppression drives a wise man crazy. This is what the Bible tells you. A wise man, think what it does to the people who are not wise. Yeah, this is simple. Again, people complicate the game. You want to do right? Again, to my black folks, take your money, pull it together, start building your own businesses or whatever else you need to do in order to prosper. Don't wait on them to cut you the check. At the same time, y'all need to cut the check. U.S. government, y'all need to cut the check. Just saying, right? They went back and forth over who was more convicted. If you ain't talking about some weird kind of Jerry Springer, like, I'm more convicted than you, and you more convicted than me, really? That means the both of y'all shouldn't be up there, but I digress. See, you talk about draining the swamp. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All your favorites, ladies and gentlemen, should be gone. Anyway. Trump on January 6th, he said it wasn't his fault. Okay. Again, this benign neglect is a thing. So that's fine. You go with it. You don't believe it's his fault? Go with it. Again, at the end of the day, it does come down to people. Moronic in nature. That's not what y'all supposed to be doing. This is what we're talking about. You got a problem what's going on in your government. You build together the legal thing. You don't go storming the Michigan State Capitol with gun strap. That's not going to do it. But anyway, no, the people that they killed like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, take a page from them. Bring this thing before the world courts. Give them real information. Do whatever marching or whatever you need to do as an action, as a physical action that is not violent. So you remove their excuses and you stay knit together as a people. So that when they put in these little people and little traps and stuff they do to make things look violent, that you snuff it out. Again, learn from what's happened in history. The world doesn't respect the U.S. now. They never did. How do you respect a bunch of thieves? The thing is built off thievery. How do you respect that? So when they bring up this topic about what respect the world has, why would the Middle East respect North America? Y'all, maybe in its prior state, but not now. Not now. What other nation? Africa? Nope. Europe don't, because again, North America is just Europe 2.0, so they don't have to have no respect for you. This is why when these world wars come, man, y'all, never mind. That's all right, man. Keep. Again, it's working. See, the way we've been doing this has been working. Not for us, though. What are some other things here? Yeah, the Border Patrol thing is silly. People keep doing that Democrat Republican thing and all that. It's the same sides, two sides of the same coin, y'all. And again, that coin is always going to come up as screw you, whether it's heads or tails, by the way. Joe was right when he said that black folks should be disappointed in him, because they should. Y'all sign up for a man sitting there with Nancy Pelosi, everybody rocking dashikis like, yeah, go vote for me. Because you ain't black if you don't vote for me, for real. When do you stop letting them play you? See, again, I didn't say that they're playing you. When do you stop letting them? I had some notes like beware of the appeal to the black struggle in this nation. That's for real. Re-reference that verse about we did all this in your name. Lord, we did this in your name. We did that. We did this. Yeah, it's the same way they're speaking about the black, the black struggle, as we call it. Yeah, no. Constantly with the immigration thing, again, that's just that the jobs are already gone. And this don't mean they recreating new ones down there. Did they recreate any new ones for y'all now? They ain't recreating no new ones for you now. They take them. They're going to use AI to take them. Whatever it is, y'all. Again, the workers need to start speaking up. You need to formulate serious stuff and go on. That's all. It really is that simple. We didn't say there'd be bumps along the road, but you got to be willing to take the first steps, y'all. And we ain't there yet. Child care costs, mothers, y'all need to stand up, man. Yo, mothers, y'all need to stand. Because again, most of the fathers not involved with their kids anyway. Sorry. Yeah, I heard a guy saying it this way. Most daddies couldn't even name about 5 teachers in their kids' classroom today. Could you? 5. We won't even go to 10. 5. I'm not going to make it easy for you and say 3. 5. See, because you're out there working for master so much, you're not involved in your kid's life. I'm sorry, but this is real. You left it to the mothers to do it. One person to give all the nurture, to give all the... Never mind. Eventually we'll get it. Eventually we get it. Again, another historically proven thing. They went back and forth over who was firing who. That was stupid. Again, y'all wasting payroll. So you're going to have a glorified 2 to 5 minutes talking about who's wasting payroll? Yo, when the Bible talks about, Jesus makes these stories about the owner and what you do with the money and all that kind of thing, man, we wasting that payroll, man. The only thing y'all know how to do is fire people. You don't know how to cultivate nobody. That's why people don't stay on the job for long no more. Now it's just hop a job. That's the game now. We playing hop a job. Go here, we stay here for a couple of years. Go. Where's the 20-year vet at? Where are y'all at? It's a dying breed. That's because of greed, by the way. Never mind. Trump on healthcare. Older people need to stand up. Yes, the elderly, elders, right? We talk about that a lot on this podcast, the respect we need to show to our elders and ancestors. Oh, and that is for real. The lessons we need to learn from them. Oh, that is for real. Again, everybody living under a warlike environment that was birthed from greed and evil of the highest sort, y'all. This thing ain't gonna work the way you think it is. This thing ain't gonna work the way you think it is, y'all. Nope. Stand up and be counted for. Stand up and be counted for. That's how this works, y'all. That's how the game works. Let's see. Because they don't care. This thing about insulin and all this garbage is garbage, y'all. That's garbage. They got you paying for way too much. Oh, Lord. And then you're too old at that point to work properly on a job to be able to gain back any money. They know what you're doing. They doing that to your grandparents, y'all. Man, young kids, stand up for your... Never mind. Because you're going to be that one day, by the way. So when they talk about Social Security and stuff like that, yeah, you ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting nothing. Let me see where I'm at, yo. We have 45 minutes. All right, let's end this. Let's end this, right? Again, we're gonna come back. Climate control. It doesn't matter what it is, y'all. The HBCU thing. It didn't matter a damn thing what they were saying last night. All of that was mess. It's time for citizens to stand up, do things legally and properly, and in order to get what belongs to them. Every one of these cultures. It's guys, that what they showed you last night will only get worse from here. That's what this is, okay? It ain't about picking the lesser of two evils. It's talking about uplifting the greater good now. It's about the greater good now, right? That's the balance of things. So that's what I got for y'all today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you very much. Pay attention to what's going on in life. They talked about how the mark for Social Security and who's getting tax aid and all that kind of thing is $170,000. That's where it is, and that's where it's at now, y'all. That's where it's at now. I know you're going to have a lot of people. You hear this message, people are going to go back and forth again. You're going to hear a lot of defenses in the mind. This is how this works, okay? They got to dupe you to screw you. Well, I ain't even going to make the correlation, but there is a correlation between those two. Y'all go out to parties. You be careful around who you're around, because the only way this stuff happens is if you lower your senses, man. I'm just saying what it is, man. You can have a good time without putting yourself in such a compromised spot. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, man. All right. So that's what I got for y'all today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for walking this road with me. Again, this is not about likes. This is about talking the truth now. Our lives are on the line, y'all. Have always been, and it's even more so today. So that's what I got for y'all today. Again, go after the greater good. Thank you for walking this road with me. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, look to find the beauty in a different view.